Alright, chill. Alright, get out of my head. Put your hands behind your back.
And not too short. By now, you're being placed under arrest for driving while intoxicated, okay?
Oh, you hit my face.
Now, get your hands off of me. I said get your hands off.
Cops have a duty to protect people and make them feel safe in their presence. But what happens when they find themselves in an uncomfortable situation because the person breaking the law is their colleague? Here are the most interesting recordings of cops who discovered their partners are criminals. Let's find out exactly how they reacted. On February 19th, 2023, Officer Donovan Beaver was involved in arresting two 14-year-old boys in Columbus Linden neighborhood. The boys ran when Beaver and another cop spotted them walking down the street. Another officer chased on foot while Officer Beaver circled in his car to intercept them. Later that afternoon, the other officer pointed a gun at one of the boys, ordering both of them to lie down. They complied. Officer Beaver caught up to the second boy, grabbed him by his dreadlocks, and repeatedly pressed his face into the concrete while handcuffing him. Despite the boy apologizing and saying he was following orders, Beaver threatened, "If you move, I'll break your face." As Beaver led him to a police van, he continued grabbing the boy by the dreadlocks and tossed items from his pockets back into his face.
Alright, chill. Alright, get out of my head.
Put your hands behind your back.
Don't do it again. Alright, chill.
Hands behind your back.
Oh, you hit my face. Okay. Alright, I'm sorry.
You can sit right.
That's tight. That's tight.
Now.
I'm complying. Alright, I'm complying.
You move, I will break your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You understand me?
Yes, I understand. I'm on. I'm bleeding. My face. Alright, stop. That's the torch. Alright, sorry. Alright, I won't do it again.
Yeah, make sure you don't have a gun, brother.
I don't got a gun. Chill.
It turns out that Officer Beaver and his partner got offended because these boys said some pretty nasty things to them while crossing the street. Even though the cops later claimed the boys had crossed illegally, it was obvious there wasn't any real violation. It seemed like their reaction was more about their bruised egos than anything else. At one point, a 14-year-old boy told Officer Beaver, who was getting really aggressive, that this whole thing didn't need to be such a big deal. But instead of calming down, Officer Beaver insisted that it was a big deal and kept on harassing and threatening the boy, making the situation worse than it needed to be.
For what?
You're
For what, bro?
you stop, you'll get wrong.
It wasn't that serious, bro.
It is now.
Alright, it is now, bro. They ain't even have to do my face like that.
You can shut down the 60s, we're fine.
Bro, y'all pick up my AirPods and my phone. Alright.
What's your name?
Bro, it's Adonis. Can I grab my AirPods?
I'll get them later.
Alright.
Hey, Wagon's back here.
Alright, chill, you don't have to do that. Alright. Chill.
And once, I'm not letting you run away. I'm getting you to the cruiser safely, you understand?
Alright, bro. Alright.
Separate your feet. You have one chance to listen.
Alright.
Separate your feet. Why?
Alright. Bro, you didn't even put on me right.
Failure to comply.
Alright.
You're under arrest.
Alright.
Get some gloves, because you're covered in blood.
Alright.
You got AIDS?
No.
Okay, look at me.
Bro,
You spit or anything?
Bro.
Charge you a felony. You
I'm
understand?
not trying to spit. I got blood in my mouth. Bro.
Hey,
All right,
no
chill.
cussing.
Chill,
Separate
chill,
your feet.
chill.
Look at me like a man.
Chill.
Even though the cops had already searched the boy once, Officer Beaver decided to prove himself again. He put on a pair of gloves and started searching the boy even more aggressively. It was obvious the boy was in pain, but Officer Beaver didn't seem to care. If you paid attention, you could even hear the other cops giggling in the background while Officer Beaver was roughing up the boy. And it makes you wonder, do these cops have children of their own? And if they do, how would they feel if someone treated their children this way?
No, you just, bro, put your hands on me. Can y'all go grab my stuff?
We'll get your
He
stuff.
dropped my
just listen
phone,
to
my
him.
air.
Focus on this for right now. Focus on this. Just listen what he's saying, okay?
Got anything on you? Poke me, stick me, harm me.
No. Damn, why you taking my, bro? Bro, can you grab that?
Grab it in a second. Chill out.
Bro, look out.
Separate your feet.
Oh yeah, you're a son. Keep your son.
Keep him right there.
Oh my daddy, your son. Bro, look at you touching.
Let me help you here, buddy. Let me get those cuffs on you, because you're up here.
Alright. Bro,
Hold still.
look at how far. When it's
Separate
your
your
neck
feet.
like a
Yeah, they said that like
Yeah, just shut it down.
bro, like what are you on there for?
You're looking for...
You ran? I'm making sure you don't have a weapon on you.
You're not gonna
Look at
find
me.
nothing on me.
I'm making sure you
You're
don't
not
have a
gonna
weapon on
find
you.
nothing on me. You're not gonna.
We need to backtrack it off.
Officer Beaver eventually arrested the boy even though there wasn't any real reason to. Deep down, he probably knew he was in the wrong, but his ego wouldn't let him back down. He shoved the boy into the van and slammed the door so hard that even a female cop who had been laughing earlier during the search felt the need to check if the kid was okay. This is where she realized that her partner is a freaking criminal. But by then, the damage had already been done.
Bro, can I get switched to a different cruiser? I do not want to go with this. I don't trust. Oh my god.
That's not how this works.
I do not trust him. What the?
You unlock the thing, so you can put him back.
Yeah.
Bro, I do not trust you.
I'll help you in a second.
Bro, oh my gosh.
To the right of the playground.
What did you have to do this for? Like,
You ran from us.
alright, but you still don't have to.
I am a law enforcement
Alright, you don't
officer.
have to.
Yeah, so let him go.
I think that way.
Hey, will you let him go? Yeah. Come here. That says police. Can
Yes,
you read?
yes.
I'm a Columbus police officer.
Yes.
When I stop you, you have to stop.
Alright,
You're now failing to comply.
alright, alright,
You're under arrest.
alright.
Okay.
Adults. Are you okay?
Yang?
Yeah.
Three hours after the arrest, Officer Donovan Beaver was suspended from duty. Following the incident, an internal investigation was launched to examine Beaver's use of force. On September 5th, 2023, Police Chief Elaine Bryant and Director of Public Safety Kate Pisciotti made the decision to terminate Officer Beaver for abuse of force and violating the department's use of force policy. This decision was based on body cam footage that captured Officer Beaver's violent actions against the 14-year-old boy. After the firing, Chief Bryant expressed her anger and disappointment, condemning Officer Beaver's conduct as unacceptable, especially when directed at a minor. Kate Pisciotti further emphasized that Officer Beaver's behavior was inconsistent with the core values of police service, stressing that such actions have no place in law enforcement. At 10:41 on an unspecified date in 2023, Bradley Renfro was pulled over by Arkansas State Trooper Martin in Fayetteville because the headlights on his 2012 Dodge Ram weren't working properly. The stop happened at the intersection of Weddington Drive and Fieldstone Avenue. As Trooper Martin walked up to talk to Bradley, he soon noticed alcohol on him and immediately suspected that Bradley might be driving under the influence. He asked Bradley to step out of the car so they could go through the usual sobriety tests. What makes this story even more surprising is that Bradley Renfro wasn't just any regular driver. He had actually started his career as a cop back in March 1996. Over the years, he moved up the ranks. He became a sergeant in 2004, a lieutenant in 2013, and a captain in 2017. Then, in December 2022, he was promoted to Deputy Chief of Police in Fayetteville.
1024. On Weddington, pulling into Fieldstone Avenue, 470 Tom X-Ray Paul, 470 TXP, black Ram pickup truck. How we doing?
Hey.
Doing all right. Corporal Marvel State Police. Hope you got a headlight out. Did you know that?
I have a short in that headlight. It is very annoying.
And it keeps going out, and then you fix it, and then it does it again.
I banged it. I took it out. I replaced it today. I put the old one back in. So
We've been drinking?
a little bit earlier tonight, but
Okay.
there's nothing there today.
Nothing now.
Correct.
How much did you have earlier? 15, 20 beers?
No.
15, 20 shots?
No. My daughter lives in Bentonville. We went up there, had a couple of beers up there.
Okay.
But I have not drank anything.
Since when? When was the last? About an hour?
An hour or so,
Okay.
easy.
All right, well, maybe hop out for me for just a second. You got insurance on your vehicle, everything like that?
Oh, yeah, it's all
Okay.
good.
Now just come on back here for me. Just to make the check to make sure that you're not intoxicated or impaired, okay? Don't lose your glasses, those are too expensive. I'm gonna turn these lights off, okay? He said it's been about an hour, roughly. Easily. Okay. Just put your feet together for me. Hands down to your side, okay? What I want you to do is just focus there on the tip of that pin. You see that? Have you fall over nothing but your eyes, okay? Don't move your head for me, all right, sir?
Unexpectedly, Bradley stayed very calmed and followed Trooper Martin's instructions carefully. At least he wasn't making a scene just because he was a cop. He didn't even mention it. But just because someone's a cop doesn't mean they get a free pass to break the law, especially when it comes to driving drunk. Cops are there to enforce the law, so they should be setting the example and following it too. It wouldn't be fair if they punished others for behavior they themselves are guilty of. Now, let's see how Bradley handled things once the test started.
No, you can relax for me. Do you have anything in your mouth? Good? Okay. I want you to put your feet together for me. Hands down to your side, okay? I'm going to instruct you what I want you to do, then I'll have you do it for me, okay? Turn off these front white lights. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry. I couldn't see. That a better spot for you? Okay, what I want you to do for me right now is take your right foot and put it in front of your left for me. Heel to toe, okay? I'm gonna have you stay there in that position, okay? I'm gonna instruct you on what I want you to do, and then I'll have you do it for me, okay?
Okay.
So I do not want you to start until I tell you to, okay?
At first, it seemed like Bradley was doing pretty well with the sobriety tests, and for a moment, it looked like everything might be okay. However, Trooper Martin had to finish all the exercises because Bradley admitted that he'd been drinking just an hour before getting pulled over. Maybe it was just a little, but it still raised concern. There's always that chance that he could have been more affected than he realized, and that's exactly why Trooper Martin insisted on running through all the tests. And it's a good thing he did, as you'll find out later.
From there, what you'll do is take 9, okay? Heel-to-toe steps in the manner. 1, 2, 3, so on to 9, okay? On that 9th step, okay? On that 9th step, you're just going to take that series of small steps, and you'll take 9 more heel-to-toe steps back down that same line. Okay, so we have 9 heel-to-toe steps, that series of small steps on that lead foot, and we'll take 9 more heel-to-toe steps back here to where we were, okay? I want you to make sure during that test that you keep your hands down by your side. Make sure you count out loud. And once you start that test, I do not want you to stop for me, okay? Do you have any questions on anything I explained to you there?
Nope.
Okay. Whenever you're ready to begin, sir. Miss 3, 1, 3. Use arms for balance. Miss 7. 2, miss 2, steps off 1. 6, 7. Okay. All right, same thing for me. Feet together, hands down to your side. On this one, same thing, okay? All this one is, once again, I'm going to instruct you on what I want you to do, and I'll have you do it for me, okay? And on this one, it is left or right foot, whichever one you're more comfortable with, okay? Take that foot. You're just going to pick it approximately 6 inches up off the ground, okay? Count in the manner 1, 1001, 1, 1002, 1, 1003.
The moment that gave Bradley away was the exercise where he had to stand on one leg and count out loud. Not only did he struggle to count, but he also had a hard time keeping his balance, constantly dropping his leg to the ground instead of holding it up. That's when Trooper Martin asked if Bradley had ever been in trouble before, and Bradley said he hadn't. It was pretty clear that this was about to be his first time. At that point, you could tell Bradley wasn't going home that night.
So on till I'm going to tell you when to stop, okay? Same thing during that test. We're going to make sure you keep your hands down to your side. Like I said, we're approximately 6 inches with our foot parallel to the ground. I want you to make sure that you look at your toe when you count for me during that, okay? Do you have any questions on that one and what I explained to you? Give me just a second. Whenever you're ready to begin, sir. Put down 1. Make sure to count out loud for me.
1001, 1002,
1002,
1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 2008, 2009, 2010,
Zones for balance, sways.
2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018,
Sways.
2020, 2021, 2022,
21 and 22.
2024.
Put down 24. Okay, you can relax. Come back here for me, have a seat. Just there on the front of my bumper, okay? You ever been in trouble, sir?
Trooper Martin then asked Bradley what he did for a living, and that's when he found out Bradley had been a cop for 28 years. But even with that information and realizing that a fellow cop is a criminal, Martin didn't let it influence him. He stayed professional and treated Bradley like any other suspect, just as it should be when a cop discovers one of their own might be doing wrong. Cops should be held to the same standards as anyone else, especially when they're breaking the law or acting like they are. Trooper Martin explained to Bradley that the next step was a chemical test and asked if he agreed to take it. That's when things got awkward and a long, uncomfortable silence filled the air.
Nothing ever? Okay. What do you do for a living? You don't have to tell me, it's just a question.
I work for the police department here in Fayetteville.
You work for the police department here in Fayetteville?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you worked for them, sir?
28 years.
28 years, okay. This is a portable breath test, okay? The results of this aren't admissible in court. I know you know this, Bill, but I'll go through it with you anyway, okay? The results of this are not admissible in court. It's just a pass or a fail if you were to fail this test. The actual test is done at the Washington County Sheriff's Office, okay? Are you willing to take this? I know it's a lot on your plate right now, so I understand. I ain't gonna rush you, but I do have to have an answer at some point.
Bradley finally made his decision, and it was a no. Now, you don't have to be a legal expert to know that refusing the blood test is basically the same as admitting guilt. That meant only one thing. Trooper Martin had no choice but to arrest him on suspicion of driving under the influence. As Bradley was being handcuffed, he stayed calm, but if you looked at his face, you could see the regret. It was like his whole career was flashing before his eyes. He knew what this meant, but honestly, he should have thought about all that before getting behind the wheel after drinking, am I right?
Yes or no for me?
On the portable breath tester?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to take that.
You don't want to? Okay. Drive, you would go ahead and turn around and put your hands on the bar for me. Left hand in the small of your back for me. And another one for me. Right now, you ain't being placed under arrest for driving while intoxicated, okay? Do you live here close by, sir? The reason I'm asking, I mean, is there somebody that could pick up your car, or is that even a phone call you want to make? I'll ask you.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it here.
I can't leave it here. Do you have a gun in the car, or
No.
nothing? Okay. I can't leave it here, but in the bag at all. Okay, did that tag return to that Ram pickup? Roger. If you don't mind, please. Six unopened Birch Avenue blonde.
After Trooper Martin searched Bradley's car and waited for someone to tow it off the road, it was time to put him in the back of the police car. As soon as Trooper Martin started buckling him in, though, Bradley began to complain, saying the seatbelt would be uncomfortable. Well, unlike Bradley, some cops actually follow the rules and care about safety, everyone's safety. At the end of the day, he didn't have much of a choice in the matter. Rules are rules, and Bradley had to deal with it, just like anyone else would.
You live down here?
Yeah, right down the hill street.
Works perfect then.
Yeah,
Keys
well,
are,
it's still going on.
yeah, keys are in the front floor, or in the front seat. So,
Any hold or anything on it?
nope, we're all good. Nothing of value in the vehicle, other than a couple of little things. So,
right, sir.
I got his wallet, and yeah, and I'll give it to him. That way he's got it. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Yeah, sitting in the front seat. Come on back here for me, sir. Do what?
I don't need a seatbelt.
I have to, sir. Policy requires it. You okay? You all right now? Watch this knee when I shut this door. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You too. You okay?
Yeah, pretty uncomfortable.
What's wrong with you?
That's handcuffs.
Are they too tight?
It's uncomfortable.
Bradley and Trooper Martin finally headed to the police station, and by now it was clear to Bradley that he was in a pretty hopeless situation. The reality was sinking in. He might even lose his job over this. Bradley stayed quiet, knowing deep down it was all his fault. After all, he was a cop too. He understood exactly how these things worked. There wasn't much left for him to say. He knew the consequences were coming, and he had no one to blame but himself.
Hello. 44. I'm 10-15, 10-19, watch the cattle.
Yeah, where you want to see?
Yes, 2-4 close.
7.
The next day, Bradley was released from custody on $1,105 bail. Following the incident, he was placed on administrative leave while an internal investigation was underway. Additionally, Arkansas State Police are conducting a criminal investigation into the arrest. So what do you think? Does the punishment Bradley received seem fair enough? Speaking of cops who were discovered by their partners in crime, meet Bernalillo police officer Jeremy Nereves. He found himself in the spotlight after an incident in November 2023 when he was charged with domestic violence. During an argument, his girlfriend secretly texted a neighbor to call 911. According to the Rio Rancho police report, she said Jeremy forcibly held her in his arms, refusing to let her go, despite her begging him to stop. Parts of the incident were even caught on the home security camera. When the cops arrived, they were greeted at the door by Jeremy's girlfriend, crying and clearly upset.
Police department.
Hello.
Hi.
You're Rancho PD. What's going on?
He just had a... Just a domestic, I guess. I've asked him to leave. I've asked him to let go of me, and he wouldn't. And he wouldn't leave.
What was going on?
I got home 30 seconds after he pulled up and he got pissed off. I didn't tell him that I was not here. So I get called all the names.
Okay, who's the officer?
Him?
Well, what's his name? We're asking. Because we're gonna find out here at least who's on the
Jeremy Navarez.
Okay. Is he? I know he's an officer. There's weapons in the house. How is he getting after us?
I don't know.
Was there drinking or anything? Anything physical happened today?
I mean, other than him not letting me go, and
So what happened with that?
I don't know. Between me trying to get away from him and between, I don't know when it happened.
So like you were trying to leave and he...
I'm trying to push him away, and he just says that he's not willing to give up. He's not willing to let go. So he just says, "Let me just love on you," and I've asked him, and I asked him 5 times to let go of me, and he won't.
When you were saying let go of me, were you wanting to leave the residence? Were you wanting to leave the house? Or were you...
I wanted him to let go of me, and I've asked him. I opened the door and I said, "You need to leave, you can get out, you need to go. It's not his house, it's my house."
During the conversation with Jeremy's girlfriend, it came out that they had been at her house that evening and he refused to leave after a heated argument. She was crying the whole time as the cops listened, and with every minute, more shocking details about their fight started to surface. At one point, the officers even noticed bruises all over her arms, but when they asked about them, she claimed she didn't know how she got them. It seemed like she was scared of what might happen after the cops left, holding back because she was just worried about how Jeremy would react.
He has 5 things in a plastic bag at the front door that I let him put in a plastic bag so that he could leave.
Gotcha. Him holding you, where is this taking place out in the house?
In the living room and the kitchen.
Okay. And he came up to you, he held you, how did he hold you? Was it by the arms, by
No,
the hands?
he tries to hug me, and I try to push him away. So
Is he like in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Isn't that go of me? Don't want you to touch me. Stop hugging me. Don't, just let go of me.
Did he inflict any pain on you? Did he leave any marks? Did he hurt you?
And I told him he was hurting my back, and other than I don't know when this happened, but
So he was holding you, hugging you like pretty tight?
I mean, as tight as he could when I'm pushing away from him.
Can you come over here just in case? Come back then. I'm gonna go look at your house. Where the person. And that's from him?
It's, and then I broke it off. But, I don't know when that happened.
Jeremy's girlfriend was so terrified that she begged the cops not to tell him that she was the one who got them there through a neighbor. Jeremy knew the police had shown up, but he didn't know it was his girlfriend who had called for help. Seeing how scared she was, the cops quickly realized that one of their own was a criminal. They started asking her if Jeremy had any weapons with him, knowing that the situation could escalate fast. It was clear she was in fear for her safety, and the officers were trying to handle things carefully to avoid making it worse.
I asked them, text my neighbor, and I asked my neighbor to call you guys, but can you please not bring that up?
Bring what?
My neighbor called you guys.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah. Can you please, I don't know if he told you that I asked you guys, but can you please not mention that to him?
To Jeremy?
Yeah.
Either way, we're here. He knows we're here.
Well, he knows you're here, but he doesn't know that I asked for you guys to be here.
Okay.
Called.
We have to conduct our investigation regardless and let him know the reason why we're here for a welfare check concerning you. That we cannot lie. It's going to be on our police report.
But you can see that it came from him.
Central PD also, can you by chance go supervise the surface? So, do you think he'll be cooperative with this one?
Oh, probably. He knows exactly what to say to be cooperative.
How long would you say that was going on? Like the hug?
Maybe 2 minutes. I don't know.
That was in the living room.
Yeah.
And then eventually you just left it.
Eventually, I was able to push him far enough to where I could like squirm out from his arms.
So by squirming out, like, what did you do after? Did you run away from him? Did he
kept,
come out back after you?
Well, he did it twice, but I kept either the island between me or the couches between me and him.
And he was trying to actively go
Yes.
back? Okay. So when he was holding you, did you feel at that moment you were free to leave?
No, not at all. He's stronger than me.
No, I said, during that moment he was holding you, did you feel that you were not free to leave?
Correct.
Jeremy's girlfriend revealed some shocking details to the cops about their relationship. She told them that they had only been together for a month and a half, which is pretty scary when someone starts showing their true colors so early on. I mean, imagine how much worse Jeremy could become if he had been acting like this at the beginning. The cops had heard enough by this point, and it was time to step inside the house to confront Jeremy. They knew they had to act before things got even more out of control.
I cannot leave. He is stronger than me. I could not leave. He doesn't know this, but I have like the entire restraining order paperwork filled out for like when it comes to such a head as this.
So it's been progressively getting worse.
Oh yeah.
Did either of you guys ever come outside? They actually walk out of the house tonight?
I opened the door
And,
for him to leave, but none of us have walked out.
how long have you guys been together?
I've known him since the end of May, and we've been together since the beginning of September.
Okay, so it's very, very new. Okay, so that makes sense. So stay here. We're gonna go try and talk with him. The supervisor is on the way just because he is a police officer, and we'll try and come up with a resolution. Okay. Also, sometime during this investigation, we're gonna take pictures of you. Is that okay?
Oh, can I put my dogs in the kennel?
We'll allow you to put him in a room, but not in the kennel, just because it's easier. So you can put him in this room. We'll follow behind you.
They
So
just don't want them to scratch on it.
that's the least of our concern right now. Okay.
Or can I have them up here with me?
Is that the people? Do they have a collar and whatnot?
Their collars are off.
Okay, so they're going in the room. We just want to make sure that this is fine.
Jeremy led the cops into the living room and started telling a completely different version of events than what his girlfriend had described. He painted the situation as just a small argument, saying their communication was off that day. According to him, he had come over to her house to try to patch things up, hoping to fix their relationship so it wouldn't end. Interestingly, he even mentioned the hug that his girlfriend told the police was the last straw for her. He described it as a kind gesture, something he did to calm her down, not realizing it was part of what upset her. Now let's see what else Jeremy had to say.
If you want, you can stay in the room with the dogs, or you can stay outside. It's okay. Yeah, have it at home. Yeah. Yeah.
Argument. Just about, I guess, kind of over communication throughout the day. So, came here. It's kind of just a little tense from the beginning. Kind of just asked her, like, you know, just let me go. If you're done, be done. Tried hugging her, that didn't pan out. She said that it hurt her back. I let her go. I had my stuff over there to leave, the bag with stuff in front to leave. She wanted the keychain off the keys that I have. I was like, well, you gave it to me, I don't want to give it back. Like, and then we ended up kind of just talking it out from there about what we could do better.
The cops weren't buying Jeremy's story, but they had to play it smart. They needed to be careful about what they said because his girlfriend had asked them not to reveal what she told them earlier. Their priority was to protect her at all costs. Still, Jeremy seemed to sense something was off, especially when the cops specifically asked him about the hug. That's probably why he felt the need to double down and explain again that it was just a normal hug like any couple would share. But the officers weren't fooled. They knew there was more to the story than he was letting on.
We need to end the relationship or go.
Okay. So the argument all started with communication.
Yeah, throughout the day, because like I've been in training all day. We haven't really seen each other the whole week. So my job and her job, and then we kind of just went.
And then, what time did you go to sleep?
Maybe like around 6, around there.
And what time did she get here?
I mean, shortly after, maybe in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Something like that.
Do you both live here, or?
No, like I'll come over here and stay with her on my days off as much as I can, or something like that.
So this is her house?
Yes.
And you stay here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stay here like 4 days here and there, or whatever, whenever I can.
Okay, where do you live?
Off of Patchy Loop.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so then you had said you gave her a hug?
I did give her a hug.
Can you go into detail of the hug?
Well, I'm just like a normal hug, and at times she's like, "Oh, I don't want it." And I'm like, "Just calm down. Let me hold you. Like, we'll work it out." And she's like, "Well, it's hurting my lower back because she's been having lower back issue." And that's when I let her.
Where were you guys in the house?
Maybe like here, by the kitchen table.
Okay. Oh, how long was that hug?
I honestly, I don't know.
Jeremy was trying so hard to downplay what happened between him and his girlfriend that he even told the cops their argument was over something trivial like a keychain in the kitchen. But earlier, he had said they were having communication problems that day, and now he was completely changing his story. It seemed like he realized he needed to make himself look even less guilty, so he started describing everything as just a normal argument that any couple would have. It was clear he was scrambling to make the situation seem harmless, but the cops could tell there was more to it than he was letting on.
10 seconds, maybe 15.
Oh. Would you say, like, how hard was your, how firm was your grip?
I mean, not too hard. I mean, once she was like, "Yeah, my back, it's hurting my back." Okay, fine. So I'm just trying to sit here and hold you, and then you're like, "No," I'm like, "Just calm down. Like, let me hold you. We'll work this out." And then she's like, "This is hurting my lower back." Sorry.
Was she saying?
We were talking, and she got like a notification, and then I think that's when she went to the door.
Oh. And then you brought up something about keychain.
Yeah, so she wanted the keychain back, and I was like, "Well, you gave it to me, like, just let me go." And so we're arguing about the stupid keychain, and eventually she was like, "Oh, you know, never mind about the keychain, just go." I'm like, "Okay." And that's when we kind of were talking about like what I could do better, or vice versa.
Where in the house were you guys when you were talking about the keychain?
Like around the kitchen area right there in front of the fridge.
Oh.
If you pay close attention, you'll notice that Jeremy often avoids answering the cops' questions directly. When one of the officers asked him something specific about the keychain, Jeremy went off on a tangent, talking about how much he loved his girlfriend and how he just wanted to fix things so they wouldn't break up. But no one had asked him anything like that. It was clear he was trying to shift the conversation away from the real issue. While Jeremy might have thought he had the cops fooled, it didn't take long for one of them to notice something strange, something that would help them piece the whole case together.
There.
Yeah, so I was originally from that time, but everybody was going at the keychain. Yes.
And then at that point, did you guys have any contact, physical contact, or anything?
So she went to grab the keychain and I just pulled it away. And that was about it.
Okay. And then that's okay, and then at that point, what happened?
That's when we ended up like, she was never mind about the keychain. Go, and I'm like, okay, like, I love you and I do want to make this work, and that's when we had to talk about like what we could do better in this situation or a relationship.
Oh, this is at that point you guys are in the bedroom. So that's after the talk is after the teaching part.
Yes,
and then you guys
correct.
have the 20-ish minutes in the bedroom. Talk. So then after you guys are done talking, that's when you're at that point.
Yeah.
No, after the talk, what happened though?
I think that's after like the 20-ish minutes. That's when I think she got the notification and went out.
Oh. Okay. Alright. How did that talk in the bedroom go?
I mean, we were kind of figuring stuff out, and I think we both, as far as I read into it, like, we're not going to end a relationship, we're going to try to figure this stuff out, and hopefully go.
The cops were running out of patience as Jeremy kept repeating the same story over and over. They had no choice but to ask him directly why he had forcibly hugged his girlfriend when she asked him to let her go. Jeremy, however, claimed he didn't remember using any force and said she had only asked him once to stop because of lower back pain. Yeah, right. He continued describing the hug once again as tender and loving. It was ironic how many times he tried to frame the situation like that, even though it was clear something more serious had happened.
So she's telling me the first time it happened is when you guys got here, the argument started. She said, happened around here the first time, around the table, or around the island. You guys were running around her, you wanted to hug her, so let me love on you. And she's telling us, she told me let me go several times, and you didn't want to let go, so at that point she had to push herself away from you so you can loosen the grip. And she told us that she was going around the island and you were kind of following her, like kind of a cat and mouse type of deal. She said the second time is when you hugged her, and she told you, hey, my lower back hurts, and you let her go.
Well, so we did hug over here, but that was earlier. But that's when she did let it happen. She was very emotional, but I don't remember any force. I guess here's the only part where I do remember saying like, no, like it's hurting my lower back. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I was like, I love you, like we'll make it work. And this was after, our conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
you don't remember?
I remember her just saying like no, but then I was able to like hug her, and it was not like forced or unforced or whatever you want to call it. Like it wasn't like, it's like, listen, I love you, like let's make it work.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, don't hug me. And then this is the only one I remember. She was like, no, like please, like just let me go. It's my lower back's hurting. I'm like, okay.
That's when one of the cops noticed a home security camera in the corner of the room. This officer asked Jeremy if the camera was recording, and you could see his face freeze the moment he realized the cops were just a step away from seeing the truth. Jeremy quickly tried to explain that the cameras were only there because of the dogs and claimed they were pointed at a completely different part of the house. He was clearly hoping to discourage the police from checking the footage, trying to make it seem like a waste of time. But one of the cops wasn't buying it. He went to Jeremy's girlfriend, who was sitting in another room, and got her permission to take her phone from the bathroom and check the camera footage.
Both agencies told you no. So why would you continue to try and hold her?
Yeah, just trying to, I guess, just make it work at some point.
Okay. Is that a camera right there?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Does it record? Or you wouldn't know?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they do or not. I'm not too sure.
Would it capture any of the arguing or any of the just kind of set in stone type of ordeal? Like, is that kind of high?
I know it like catches from like, if it does record, I think it's there to there. She has it for the dogs.
Gotcha.
So it would catch like from the end of the couch to the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about it.
So I noticed the other camera that faces out towards the door. Does that record?
It records in 30-second bits of motion, so there's no guarantee. The problem is that I'm trying to look back. From the first sense of motion, it catches 30 seconds, and then it stops recording for 2 or 3 minutes. That's how ring cameras are built.
Okay.
Until it resets.
Do you have your phone on you, chance?
It's in the bathroom.
Do you mind if I go get it and see if I can look that up?
Yeah, it's on a green jacket, but it's in the bathroom. If you go down the hallway to the right and another right,
okay. What kind of phone is it?
It's an iPhone.
Okay.
Jeremy's girlfriend unlocked her phone for the cop, and he was able to see the footage captured by the camera, which showed only part of what had happened that night. While one of the officers reviewed the footage, another stayed with Jeremy's girlfriend, continuing the conversation. As she opened up, even more shocking details about Jeremy came to light. She revealed that he had been on the news before for a traffic incident where he pulled a gun on a family that was speeding to get their injured dog to the vet. With each new piece of information, it became clear that what they were dealing with was just the tip of the iceberg. The more they learned, the worse things looked for Jeremy.
Now, get your hands off of me. I said get your hands off.
And it's a keychain phone?
What is
That's
it?
not a key to the house.
No, it's just the keychain. So he was on administrator break.
For what? No, I don't.
Oh, he works for Reliance.
Okay.
You don't watch the YouTube video? The news story?
Which one?
Of him stopping our family. Of him speeding on Reliance and the dog died. Because he did a felony stop on a family and followed their family out of the car. So Google his name and find it.
Okay. Is he still on leave?
No. They just looking for that.
Okay.
I have talked with him. And the DV unit, the crime victims.
The crime victims, I mean.
I have all of the restraining orders. The restraining order paper got filled out of 2 pages of everything he has done.
Okay. Have you called this before?
No.
I really love how careful these cops were, doing everything they could to protect the woman who had called them. They handled the situation like true professionals, and this is what a real cop and public servant is all about. When the officer had gathered all the information he needed, he pulled another cop aside and took him to a different room to share everything he had learned. You could tell from the second officer's expression that he wasn't happy with what he heard. By that point, it was pretty clear what needed to happen next. The situation was serious, and the cops knew they had to act.
I know. I know. But
Not this can change what happens tonight.
no, but I should have. I know and I should have, and I kick myself every day that I didn't call a few times. But
So he grabbed you 3 times?
no, I got him twice.
Also, take the battery 3 times. Because she was unwanted. Right? That's unsolicited. Insulin matter. She told him over 10 times to let him go. And he didn't begin. That's the message. What did you say? So, she put his first in both those ones at least. Why did you think that he has a how is that on the match? He just got back from suspension.
The cops came back to the living room where Jeremy was still sitting casually, completely unaware of the trouble he was in. One of the officers calmly explained that they had reviewed the security camera footage and knew exactly what had happened. As soon as Jeremy heard this, he quickly reminded them that he was a cop too, even though they already knew that from the girlfriend. But these officers didn't care at all who Jeremy was or what he did for a living. Being a cop doesn't make domestic violence okay. It was pretty clear what was coming next. The officer approached Jeremy and the situation ended with handcuffs and an arrest.
What is your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy what?
Nevas.
And you're an officer?
Yes, sir.
And you know about integrity?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been with Bernalillo?
It's a year and a half now.
Is that the only agency you've been with?
I started with Valencia County Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
So was that able to show like all the hallway and all that stuff?
It didn't show the hallway. What's bad about those is it only records a 30-second increments, and then it does it, or it cuts off for 2 minutes, and then it does a recycle. So it catches you in here. Obviously, you change words, put it on yonder, and then it shows you guys talking here on the side outside the camera view.
I did. Oh, play a couple things, but how better
Am I able to call someone to just have it easy?
We'll work it. We'll also do the call.
The cops cuffed Jeremy and the usual procedure started. They had to search him just as a formality. Jeremy stood there fully aware of his situation and what was coming next. After all, he was a cop, so he knew how things worked in moments like this. Of course, he probably never expected something like this to happen to him, but there's a first time for everything, right? It was about time he learned that cops don't get special rules or treatment. When they do something wrong, there are consequences, just like for anyone else. After going through all the formalities, the cops finally led Jeremy to the patrol car, and he followed along without saying a word.
Durant.
Then it also shows on this side you hugging her from behind and her telling you twice to let your hands up.
Channel work.
You just have boxers underneath?
Just.
We'll get those in.
Jeremy faced charges of domestic battery, according to the court documents. He eventually admitted guilt, leading the woman involved to obtain a restraining order. Reports indicate that Jeremy was subsequently dismissed from his position at the Bernalillo Police Department. The keychain, which played a key role in the incident, was returned to its rightful owner without issue.